Hello, fellow alchemists. Welcome back to our series on Phoenix LiveView. Now, today I wanted to get back to our kind of core live view. Okay, we've kind of ventured off a little bit. I think the last thing we need to do is really focus on editing a user, so we can create them, we can delete them, we can show them, but we haven't been able to actually edit a user yet. So I'm going to go through that flow with you guys today. So as usual, we're going to start with a test, and I'm going to create a new file. Call it user edit test.exs. For the most part, it's pretty similar to here. So we can pretty much copy this, paste it here. A couple of things we need to change is that we're going to do the user edit. The live path, we're going to have to pass in a user. And the setup, we're going to have to expand this a little bit. And we're going to have to actually, we can save this into here. And actually, let's go ahead, let's change this to updated user, right? Make sure that passes okay. And we need to, for this part, user. Okay. We're going to be able to first create a user. MyView accounts dot create user, and we could just copy this, paste this here. Let's call it username just to make it very easy. And this one we need to also return a user here, and pattern match on the user, pattern match on the user again. Keep this the same. For this one, we're not going to go back to user index. We're going to change this to the live path. This one should be hello live view web dot user show, and we'll pass in the user. Live path, yeah, this looks right. Okay, now we need to actually create this live view. So we go to here, user edit.ex. Again, this is very similar to the new, so we can just copy this, paste it here. Now we're going to change this to be user edit. This one we can still use the same form, it's not a problem. But in here we need to be able to handle the path. So we can grab that from the user show. We can grab this, path params, paste that here. So the user ID. And here we're going to grab the user using accounts dot get user, pass in the user ID. For this one, we have a change set, but for this one, we just pass in the user because we're changing that user, right? And then, and also we're not doing a change new user, we need to actually just do change user. And then one last thing is we actually add the user to the socket. Okay. Now when we validate this user, again, we're not changing the user, we're just changing the same user. And we can pattern match, grab the assigns, grab the user from what we did over here when we add that to the user assigns. put that user here. Now this is looking a little bit strange. That's because this is actually not going to work out. And the reason is that we need to actually grab this. So like we did over here, we just do attributes and add in the empty attributes and then just pass this in, same as we did for the creation. And instead of inserting, we're actually going to be updating. So that's an important thing to remember. Now we're not creating a user. Again, we are updating a user. And again, we need to grab that user from the assigns. It's quite simple. We can just copy that and paste that here. Pass in the user. And when we actually update that user, we could just, instead of sending them back to there, we send them to the live path. And that is the hello live view web user show. Pass in the updated user. And we say they've been successfully updated. And otherwise, we send back the change set. Now that should be relatively good. I'm trying to think if we need anything else. This should be enough to kind of get us going. And we could just reuse this form, of course. So let's try to test this out, see how it goes. Live view web, live user edit. And oh, we need to actually add that to the router. It's quite simple. Router, and we pretty much follow the same flows we did before. / users id user edit. Okay, now that should work out. There we go. Passes. Everything passes just fine. So now if I actually go back here and I run the server, go to my user section, and I'm missing a button for that, so I'll go ahead and add that in. So let's go to the templates, to the index, and I will just go ahead and add a link. Let's see, simply just use the link function to edit. Hello LiveView web user edit. Add in the user, of course, and then let's give it a class of button warning to match it. And let's take a look. Oops. There we go. So let's say I edit this user. So the nice part about this edit change is that I don't need to actually update the password. So I could just update a user directly. So I can say it's column test4, works fine. I can go back to the users, say test3 again, not a problem. But this will catch editing if I do try to do test1. It's already been taken, so it kind of protects us from that. And there we go. That's how we can edit our users. So again, this is Alan from Plangora. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.